Hi, everybody. Today we're going to do factoring by grouping. This is polynomials. I didn't preview it, but I suspect that they are probably have 4 terms, and we're going to be factoring by grouping. So here it is, AA.7. And let's see what we have. Yep, we have 4 terms. And what we're looking for, and there's a trick to it, what we're looking for is we're looking for a common factor, but there's more than just that. So we've got 12k cubed plus 18k squared. And what you want to kind of do is separate this into 2 pieces, plus 10k plus 15. And what I want to do is I'm going to look for a common factor for this pair. And the common factor here is 6k squared. There's a 6 in both and a k squared in both. If you don't know how to find a greatest common factor, go back to the first section of this and we talk about it. So 6k squared. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 6k squared out. This is undistributing. So what do I have to multiply by 6k squared to get 12k cubed? Well, I need a 2k, don't I? And 6 times 2 is 12, and k squared times k is k cubed. Now, I still have to take the 6k squared out of the 18k squared, and I need a 3 here, because 6 times 3 gives me my 18. Now, what I want to have is I want to have a 2k plus 3 over here. And what do I need to take out to get a 2k plus 3? I need to take out a positive 5. Now, it just so happens that that was my greatest common factor. Now comes the interesting part. And what I want you to see is that if I'm factoring something, I take a common factor out of a multiplication. Well, here's my common factor. I am going to take this common factor out. This common factor is 2k plus 3. And what's left is just the 6k squared plus 5. Notice this was what I took out of both terms. This is a term. This is one big multiplication, and this is one big multiplication. And so I took the 2k plus 3 out of it. So hopefully that's clear, and that's my factors. Now, if I could, I would factor this further. For example, if this happened to be a difference of squares, I could factor it even further. But there it is. We have a 2k plus 3. Oh, I should have written it up here. 2k plus 3 times a 6k squared plus 5, I believe. Just want to double check it. Just check it real quick here. Oh no, somebody's calling me. Okay, I'm going to pause this for just a minute. Okay, everybody, hopefully this is going to work out. And there's my pair. So I factored it, and there it is. So let's see what the next one says. Okay, we've got 4 terms. We split it up, and we see if it'll work. So I've got my 15. I'm going to put it up here so that it's a little easier to read. Minus 20g squared. And then we have a plus 9g minus 12. And what I'm looking for is the common factor. So we have a 5g squared that we can take out. And what's left is 3g, because that g squared gives us g cubed, and the 5 times 3 is 15, minus 4, isn't it? Now, I want to make sure I get a 3g minus 4 on the other side. Well, if I take out the 3, I get a 3g minus 4. And the common factor, weird, is this whole thing. This 3g minus 4 is the common factor that gets taken out. It's almost like this. If you had 5y plus let's make it 5y squared plus 2y. You would take the y out, and you would have y times 5y plus 2. This is just like this one that I'm doing here, except that instead of y, and this is my y thing, I'm taking out 3g minus 4. Hopefully it's clear what's happening. I'm just taking the 3g minus 4 out. And what's left inside is the 5g squared plus 3. And there it is. Now, if this could be factored some more, I would do it, but it can't be. By the way, positive binomials usually can't be factored. So anyway, there it is. We've got a 3g minus 4. I put it extra spaces, and we have a 5g squared plus 3. I like the case where that I don't have to do that up and down thing there. So it looks like it's good. All right, let's see what the next one says. Okay, we've got a common factor of 8s squared. And I'm going to take out, this time I'm going to take the 8s squared out of my pair. And what's left is an s minus 1. Notice that if I multiply that 8s squared times 1, I get the minus 8s squared. Now my second pair, I want to get s minus 1. Well, that means I need to take out a negative 3. And that leaves me with s minus 1. I want you to notice that negative 3 times s is negative 3s, and negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 3, sorry. And there it is. It's over there. So now I'm going to take the s minus 1 out. That's my common factor. I'm going to take the s minus 1 out. And I have 8s squared minus 3. And unfortunately, that 8s squared minus 3 can't be factored any further. So we're basically done. We have s minus 1. And we have an 8s squared minus 3. I put some extra spaces in there just to make sure it works out. Okay. This time, I'm going to look at the first pair and the second pair, and I'm going to take the 9x squared out of, oh, darn it, didn't mean to do that. There we go. I'm going to take the 9x squared out, and I have an x left, and I have a minus 2, don't I? Because if I multiply by 9x squared, I get that first binomial. My second binomial, I want to get x minus 2, so I have plus 8, x minus 2, and there it is. Take out the x minus 2, and we're done. I'm not going to, well, you know what, I will. X minus 2. And what's left after I take out the x minus 2 is the 9x squared plus 8. Gotta like that grouping. X minus 2, and we have a 9x squared plus 8. Looks good. Let's see what we have next here. Looks like we're going to take out the 5x squared. I think I'm going to put it right here, 5x squared. And I have a 2x plus 1. And I take out the minus 7, and I have a 2x plus 1. That is a minus 7. Notice if I distribute it, I get this binomial. And I'm just going to go ahead and take out my 2x plus 1 is my common factor. And what's left is the 5s squared minus 7. And there we have it. 23y squared is my common factor for the first pair. And we have a y plus 1 left. Uh-oh, now a lot of people are going to get confused because wait a minute, there's no common factor, but there's always a 1. Does that make it clearer? Then you take out the y plus 1. Okay, I'll write it. Y plus 1 times the 23 y squared plus 1. There we go. And there's our factors. Let's see, we have a 4m squared that we can take out of the first pair. And we're left with an m plus 2. And if I take out a 13, I have an m plus 2. So we end up with m plus 2 and a 4m squared plus 13. Okay, let's take out that g squared. G squared is my common factor, and I'm left with 4g plus 3. And I'm going to take out the 10 out of the second pair. I separate them out, and I get a 4g plus 3. And there's my common factor. 4g plus 3 is my common factor, and I'm left with a g squared plus 10. I keep looking to see if I can factor that second binomial. If it had been g squared minus 9 or some other difference of squares, then I could factor it some more. And that may happen soon. We'll see. Okay, we've got a 5n squared we're going to take out. That's my common factor for the first pair. So when I take that out, I get a 4n minus 5. And I'm going to add a 9. And that's going to leave me with a 4n minus 5. And there's my common factor of 4n minus 5. And we have a 5n squared plus 9. Looks good. I don't want to spend too long on this one. Let's see, we'll take out the 3r. And that leaves us with 2r plus 1. Don't forget that 3r has to have the 1 to make it work. Now I want to take out a 9r squared, huh? See that? Oh, 9r cubed, my bad. 9r cubed. And then I have a 1 plus 2r. Now this is backwards, but it doesn't matter. 1 plus 2r is the same as 2r plus 1. And 9r cubed plus 3r is the same as 3r plus 9r cubed. So I'm going to take out the 2r plus 1. There's something else that's going to happen, so I just want to point this out. So I'm going to take out the 2r plus 1. 2r plus 1. And what's left inside is the 3r plus 9r cubed. Uh-oh, this can be factored some more, can't it? Or they were trying to trick you, weren't they? So we have a 2r plus 1. And we can take a 3r out. And we have a 1 plus 3r squared. Now, it's normal to write this the other way. So I am going to write my 3 terms. I have a 3r. By the way, I could have taken the 3r out from the very beginning and it would have been a lot easier. My bad. Remember, I told you to always look for a common factor? I forgot. So it does happen, but it still works. And we have a 2r plus 1. And we have a 3r squared plus 1. So there's our 3 factors, and we say that it's completely factored. It would have definitely been easier to write it in descending order and take out my 3r from the very beginning. But it worked out fine anyway. So there it is. We have a 3r. We have a 2r plus 1. And we have a 3r squared, I said. 3r squared plus 1. Oh, there it is. And I think that's fine. I'm writing the 3r next to the 2r plus 1, but that means multiplication. Looks good. Okay. Let's see. No common factors this time. I wanted to check. One thing I can do is write it in descending order if I want, which may be the way to go. So let's rewrite it in descending order just to see what happens. 27 j cubed. It may not be wrong to write it without doing this first, but I think it's going to be easier to deal with. And then we're going to have a minus 45j plus 35. A couple of things you want to note is that you can't just switch subtraction. You have to leave it as kind of plus and negative, but I just recognize that the term is really the negative 45j, and I just move it around. So now, for my first pair, I have a j squared, and I have a 3. So I have a 3j squared as my common factor. And I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to have a 9j minus 7. Now in my second pair, I want to get a 9j minus 7. So what do I have to take out? A negative 5. Be careful, because you want to make sure that the 9j and the 9j match up. And then I do get a minus 7. And now I have my pair. Shall we just put it in? Well, let's rewrite it. Let's take out the 9j minus 1 from both terms. 9j minus 1. And we have a 3j squared minus 5. So yeah, probably best to go ahead and rewrite it in descending order. We've got a 9j minus 1 and a 3j squared I said, minus 5. Looks good. Oh no, what did I do? Oh God. 3j squared minus 5. So what's the problem? What? Oh, minus 7. Oh man, I can't read today. I thought maybe it counted it wrong because it was out of order. 7. Jeez, I hate it when that happens. Okay, well, this one's written in descending order. That's nice. We do have a 19k squared. Oh, I'm such a spaz. And we have a k plus 2 that we're taking out. And I need a k plus 2 over here, don't I? And to get a k plus 2, I need to take out the 18. So we have a 19. Let's see if I can get this right this time. 19k squared plus 18, and a k plus 2. I could have written it either direction. Bad, bad, bad. Okay, looks like we better write this in descending order. So I've got 3j to the 5th plus 6j to the 4th plus 10j, oh dang it, plus 5j cubed plus 10j squared. There we go. So I'm going to take out a 3j to the 4th, which leaves me with 1j plus 2. And I'll take out a 5j squared. Oh no, I didn't take out the common factor, did I? I did it again, but that's okay. It probably would have been easier to take out the common factor first, maybe. It's more or less the same. So I'm taking out the 5j squared, and I've left with the j plus 2. Now, I'm going to do something else. Well, I better not. 3j to the 4th plus 5j squared times j plus 2, and I still need a common factor to take out. And my common factor that I can take out is just a j squared. So if I take out the j squared, I get 3j squared plus 5 and a j plus 2. Would have been a lot easier maybe to just take the j squared out from the very beginning. Wasn't watching for my common factor. J squared, 3j squared plus 5 and a j plus 2. Looks good now. Bad, bad, bad. Okay. They're going to trick me. All right, I'm going to rewrite it. 6j cubed minus 6j squared minus plus 13j minus 13. We'll take out the 6j squared, and we get a j minus 1. And we'll take out the 13, and we get a j minus 1. And we're done. I'm going to take out the j minus 1 in my head. J minus 1. And we get a 6j squared plus 13. There it is. Come on. Alrighty then. We have a 7s squared minus 14 s cubed, 14s squared, a plus 25s, and a minus 50. Looks like we're going to take out a 7s squared, and we have an s minus 2, and I'm going to take out a 25, and I get an s minus 2, and we just factor it. S minus 2 is my common factor, and I have a 7s squared plus 25. There it is. Okay, let's take out the q squared and at the same time rewrite it. So I'm going to do two things at once. I'm going to take out the q squared, and I'm going to rewrite it in order. So that's going to leave me with 2q to the third plus 2q squared plus q plus 1. Now, I could have done this in 2 steps, but I went ahead and just took the q squared out of everything and then rewrote it in descending order. Now I'm going to take my q squared, and in a way, this kind of makes it a little bit funky looking because I'm going to have this double thing going on in here. I've got a 2q squared here as my common factor, and that leaves me with q plus 1. But I also have a 1 times q plus 1. And inside this bracket, the q plus 1 is the common factor. The 2q squared plus 1 is the other factor. So I don't know. The other method was just as good, so it works either way. We have a q squared. We have a 2q squared plus 1. And our common factor that we take out is the q plus 1. There it is. All right. Shall we do it the other way this time? Let's take the 4g squared out. Let's do that. We don't have to rewrite it, so we'll just take out the 4g squared. So that's going to leave us, and I guess I'll leave the brackets. That's going to be 6g to the third minus 6g squared plus g minus 1. And I've got a 4g squared. I'm going to take out the 6g squared. And I have a g minus 1. I'm going to take out the 1, and I have a g minus 1. And I'm going to go ahead and factor it just so you can see it a little better. Hopefully with the brackets, it makes it clear what's happening. Probably going to lose this if you're not careful. So we've got a 4g squared. I've got a, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and write it nice. G plus G minus 1. This is my common factor. I take it out. And inside I've got a 6G squared plus 1. And there's my factorization. 4G squared. G minus 1. And 6G squared plus 1. Looks good. Hopefully don't make a dumb error again. All right. Oh, we've got R's and Q's, both. Well, let's go ahead and take out the Q squared and put it in order. Looks like it's pretty much in order already. So take out the Q squared. So I'm going to take out Q squared, and what's left is 2QR minus Q. That's weird. Oh, I see the problem. I need to rewrite it. So I need to put this term next. If I take out the Q squared, I get minus 4R, maybe. And then I get a minus Q. Interesting. And then I have a plus 2 over here. So I did a couple of things. I rewrote it with the R's together, and hopefully that's clear what happened. I just took a Q squared out of everything, and then I switched these two terms. So now I have Q squared. My common factor for this first pair is going to be 2R. And what's left is going to be a Q minus 2. Now I want to get a Q minus 2 over here. So what I have to take out is a minus 1. Again, hopefully that's clear. Yeah, I took a negative 1 out of both of these terms, and so that I'd get a Q minus 2. So now I have a Q squared. I've got a Q minus 2, and I have a 2R minus 1. I could have done this in whatever order you wanted, and we could have done it in a different order, but in general, I kind of skipped a step, but other than that, it should work out okay. Q squared, we've got a Q minus 2, and we have a 2R minus 1. And it looks good. Wanted to make sure I copied it correctly this time. Okay. Looks like we have a W squared we can take out of all the terms, and I think that's going to make it look nice. So let's just take out the W squared. W squared. So I have a 5WX, and again, I'm going to switch these two again. And then I'm going to have a minus 10WX, because I'm taking out W squared. Oh wait, I'm taking out W squared. I'm just going to have 10x. Oops. Sorry about that. 10x. And then I'm going to have my plus W, and then I'm going to have a minus 2. So that's not so bad, I hope. Hopefully that's clear. I took the W squared out of the first term. I switched those two first, and then I just took a W squared out of everything. So that's probably okay. So then I have a W squared. I have a 5x I could take out of both terms. And what's left is a W minus 2. And don't forget, you have to put the 1 with the W minus 2 so that you can take it out of both terms. So you have this common term you can take out. Oh, I don't need this anymore. I don't need the brackets anymore. I just have a W minus 2 that I took out and a 5x plus 1 left. There we go. W squared, W minus 2, and a 5x plus 1. Just make sure I've actually written what I thought I did, and it looks good. Sorry about that mistake earlier. Silly things. Okay. Looks like I'm not going to have to switch this time, but I can just take an h out of everything. I could wait until the end to take it out, but I think it's easier to just do it now. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the h, and what I'm left with is 8hg minus 6g plus 12h minus 9. All I did was take an h out. That's it. I didn't have to reorganize it or anything. Now I'm going to take out a 2g out of the first pair. 2g, which leaves me with 4h minus 3. And over here, I want to have a 4h minus 3. And clearly, I took a 3 out to get that. Now I've got an h. I've got a 4h minus 3 as my common factor. And I have a 2g plus 3. I like these. These are kind of amusing. They're kind of fun. 4h minus 3, and a little satisfying at least. Make sure I have the same thing I thought I did. Yep, looks good. Okay, let's see here. Looks like it's in the right order. No nice common factors. So let's take out the 18v out of the first pair. So taking out an 18v leaves me with 2w minus 1, doesn't it? And taking out a 13, negative 13, leaves me with 2w minus 1. So there's my common factor, and we'll 2w minus 1, and we have an 18v minus 13. Make sure I don't put a 1 in there again. Yeah, looks good. We're getting there. All righty then. Looks like my m's are in the beginning, so we can take those out. We have an n squared through the entire polynomial, so let's take out the n squared. That's going to leave us with 6nm plus, that's okay, 12m plus, I should have taken a 2n squared, shouldn't I? Darn it. Have to start again. Sorry, guys. My bad. I should have noticed that there was a 2 as a common factor as well. So let's start again. That's going to leave me with a 3nm. That's going to be a plus 6m plus 4n plus a 6. Now, we've got a 2n squared. Our first pair, we can take a 3m out. That leaves us with n plus 2. And we can take a 2 out. Uh-oh, I made a mistake somewhere, didn't I? Did I? Oh, 8. There's my mistake. God. Oh, did you see what I did? I couldn't figure out what I did wrong. Then I take out the 4. That leaves me with an n plus 2. And I probably should have used brackets here. Man, compound your error when you make a mistake. So we have a 2n squared. We have an n plus 2 as our common factor. Sorry, that n's kind of small. There we go. And a 3m plus 4. I needed to be careful because that m looks a bit like an n, so I have to be careful and make sure I get the right one. We have a 2n squared. We have an n plus 2. And we have a 3m plus 4. And it looks good. Okay, let's take an S out of everything. It looks like that's it. Yep, just take an S out. So let's take out the S. We're going to be left with 2SR plus R plus 2S plus 1. It's kind of funky looking, isn't it? Well, out of this first pair, I can take out an R, and I'm left with 2S plus 1. And I have to, there's nothing I can take out, so I have to put the 1 plus 1 times 2S plus 1. And this is sort of a weird situation where the common factor is actually bigger than what's left. So we have an S times 2S plus 1 times the R plus 1. And there we go. S, 2S plus 1, and an R plus 1. And it looks good. Let's see what we got next. No common factors that I can see. Nope. And that's nice. So we'll take a P out of the first pair. Guess that's it. Take the P out of the first pair, and we're left with 3Q plus 4. And take out a -10 out of the second pair, and we have a 3Q plus 4. A little different than what we've seen before. We had to take a negative out of both parts. And so we have a 3Q plus 4. And left inside is the P minus 10. And of course, I spaced out that P minus 10 a little bit for you. So put it so you can see it. And that's it. No more factoring. Oh man, they're making it really easy for us now. Now we're getting the easy ones. Okay, so take out the 4W out of the first pair. There's no common factors. And we have a 3x plus 1. And then out of the second pair, we take out a -1, and we get a 3x plus 1. They did that double negative thing again. Apparently, some people have trouble with that. So then we have a 3x plus 1 we have to take out. And we have a 4W minus 1 that's left. And that's it. Oh, we're going to go up one at a time there because I made the mistake earlier. Darn it. All right. Looks like we have an x in every term, so we have to take out the x. That's the only common term it looks like. So we have a 3xw plus 2, and oh, it's a minus, sorry. We have a minus 3w and a minus 2x. Huh? Oh. Okay, so this one is backwards, isn't it? And actually, what's backwards is I need to switch these two, don't I? That's going to make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to switch those two. Now, I could have done it in a different order or something, but I actually should probably switch those two and then switch again so that this other pair is in order as well. So I'm going to switch twice. I'm going to switch these two, and then I'm going to do another switch over here. So then we're going to have x. I'm going to have a 3x plus 3xw. I'm going to have a minus 2x because I want to put my x's together. I am going to have a minus, oh, so dumb. Darn it. Let's see, do we want a minus 2x? No, we don't. I guess we just want to switch the middle pair maybe. Yeah, I just want to switch the middle pair maybe. 3w. And then what I want to do is I want to switch the 2 and the -2x. Minus 2x plus 2. So I just rearranged it all over the place. notice that you can move terms around because they're really negatives being added instead of subtracted. Take out my 3w from the first pair, and I have an x minus 1 left. Take a negative 2 out of my second pair, and I have an x minus 1 left. Yep. See that negative 2 makes that a positive 1, 2 there. And then I can take out my x minus 1. Man, I have a bunch of stuff going on. 3w minus 2. I'll write it up here. X minus 1 and a 3w minus 2. There, make it easier when I start putting it in. I have an x and x minus 1 and a 3x minus 2. Almost put a 1 again. And I think that's it. Oh, God. Don't tell me I made a mistake. Oh, man. Where's my mistake? Oh, a W. Oh, my God. I put X's instead of W's. Oh, man. Oh, well. Well, I think you guys got the idea that I'm going to finish. Damned if I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to take out, I'm mad now. I am going to take out the 14y. And it leaves me with 2z minus 1. And, oh, geez. And then I have a plus 1 times 2z minus 1. And I take out the 2z minus 1. $14y plus 1. If I make another mistake, I'm done. Okay, take the r out of everything. What else? Looks like that's it. I'm just going to take out the r. So then I have an rq plus 3q minus r minus 3. Oh, I guess I should have not. There. So now I'm going to take out the q. And I have an r plus 3. And I'm going to take out the minus 1, and I'll have an r plus 3. And I am not going to rewrite this. I'm going to type the r. I am going to type the r plus 3. And then I'm going to have the q minus 1. And that's it. We're done. All right. I have no common factors. I was thinking of 3, but the 7 prevents that. So we have a 7q in our first pair. I'm going to take out the 7q. And I have a 5r plus 1. And out of the second pair, I'm going to take out the 5. And that leaves me with, 6. And that leaves me with 5r plus 1. And so my common factor is 5r plus 1. And what's left is my 7q plus 6. Okay, we have a lot of common factors here. We have a 5 that goes into everything and an r in everything. So we'll take out the 5r. I'm going to do something else maybe. Yeah, I think I'm going to rearrange as I go. So I'm going to rearrange. I'm going to switch these two. So, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to switch those two. I'm going to leave everything else the same. So I'm just taking out the 5r and I'm going to switch these two around a bit. So we've got 5r, and I've got a 3q. I've got a plus 5rq, and then I've got a plus 5r plus 5. Now, I realize that I could have switched these two as well. And I'm going to switch them and take out the q at the same time. Did I make a mistake again? No. 5r, 5, yep. 5r, yep. Oh, that's a 3. God, that's bad. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to take out the 3q, and I'm going to switch these two at the same time. So it's going to give me an r plus 1. I'm going to take out the 5. I need to be a little more careful here. Okay, so I'm going to switch these two, and I'm going to take the 3q out, which is going to leave me with r plus 1. And then I'm going to take the 5 out, and it's going to leave me with the r plus 1. And that's all I'm going to do. So then I'm just going to make sure I put in my terms or my factors. I have a 5r, I have a 3q plus 5, and I have an r plus 1. And I have a 3q plus 5. That looks good to me. Okay, we've got K's and we have J's. I'm going to switch the two middle parts. Yeah, that's all. I'm just going to switch these two, and then I'll factor it. So we got 32jk plus 36k plus 8j plus 9. And then out of these pair, I'm going to take out a 4k, and I'm left with 8j plus 9. And I just take out the 1 out of the second pair, 8j plus 9. And I'm just going to take out my 8j plus 9. And I'm left with 4k plus 1. Hopefully you're going to go much faster than I did since I messed it up so much. Take out my 4j out of my first pair, which gives me 4k plus 2. I'm going to take out the 7, and it gives me my, take an 8j out of the first pair. Man, nothing like making mistakes. Take an 8j out of the first pair, and I have 2k plus 1. Take a 7 out of the second pair, and I have a 2k plus 1. The thing is that the common factor saves me sometimes. So we have a 2k plus 1 and an 8j plus 7. There we go. What? 7? Why did I put a 7? It's 1. Okay, I'm switching my 7s and my 1s. I'm done. I hope you guys will go to mastery without me. You know what I think I'll do is I'll just go ahead and pause my recording. I think that's enough. I'll pause. Okay, guys, I'm back again. I did about 10 more and made some more stupid mistakes. I forgot a parenthesis here and there and just made all kinds of errors. So you can see my time is just going crazy. But anyway, to check this answer, I rearranged and did some factoring by grouping. But to check this answer, it's really easy. You just multiply your first, outer, inner, and last, and there's no additions going on. So 5xy is our firsts, sure enough. I have a minus 8y at the end, but that's okay. I have a 10x in there somewhere, and I have a minus 16. So I know that this is the correct one because I multiplied this out. So I have 5x in parentheses, 5x. I don't have to space it out, but I'm going to just to make absolutely sure. But luckily, I stopped spacing it and it was working out just fine. So 5x minus 8 times y plus 2. And I've got one more to go. And I won't make a mistake on this last one. So we are going to take out the 6g, and we have an h minus 1. Looks like they're going to have mercy on me. And we have a 17, and we also have an h minus 1. So we have 6g plus 17 times h minus 1. And I'm actually going to write it because it's a real pain to miss this. So what I meant was when I multiply these, I have 6gh, which is right there, the first term. I have a 17h, and I have a minus 6g, and I have a negative 17 at the end. So I know that it's the right one. We have 6g plus 17 and an h. And of course, I'm going to space it just to make absolutely sure it's okay. And an h minus 1. And I hope you guys will go to your mastery, even if it takes a while. Keep at it, and you'll be able to do your factoring by grouping. And I will see you back again. Bye, guys.